So have you ever thought to yourself, they've heard me talk about this before. They don't want to hear my story again. Well, if you've ever thought that, that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Story is powerful. Your story is powerful. In fact, the world needs to know what life has taught you. But too often, once we begin to tell our story from the stage or in the boardroom, we think to ourselves, man, they've heard me say this before. It's not going to resonate. I can't repeat what I've already said. That's not true. You got to look at your story as almost like a great movie that you would watch again and again and again. Many people know me as the pool guy. Sometimes people say, Marcus, does it bother you when people call you the pool guy? I'm like, no, it doesn't bother me. And then sometimes they'll say, I want to ask you about the pool guy experience, but I feel like you've probably said it so many times you don't want to share it again. I'm like, no, I'd love to share it again. Because the pool guy story made me, in so many ways, who I am. It's the reason why I have the most amazing job in the world, and I get to speak from stages and meet these audiences and essentially get paid to travel. It's amazing. But it's happened because I've told that pool guy story over and over again. I tell it well. Think of some of the greatest speakers of all time. My favorite is Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn used to always tell the same stories. I was just a poor farm guy growing up in Idaho, behind on my promises, right? Or Les Brown, one of my favorites of all time. Love Les Brown. He talked about how he was labeled as mentally retarded and how he was just left abandoned in a building. And these are the things that we've heard them say over and over again. But yet, we listen to Jim Rohn again and again and again. Les Brown. If you've ever listened to Les, you haven't listened to Les just one time. You've listened to Les Brown many, many times. Because again, just like it's a great book or a great movie, if you have a great story, it needs to be heard. Because what happens is, even though the story might not change, it's the listener that changes because they're at a different point in their life. And because they're going through change, the story is going to resonate differently. I have people tell me, Marcus, how come you didn't share that pool guy story? Literally. So you have your story. Own it. Embrace it. Don't be afraid to share it. That is my challenge to you. As always, if you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe. Now, my friends, let's go get to work.